This is Becca Wasser. She has a bachelor's degree in international and global studies with a focus on Islamic and Middle Eastern studies, and she has a Master of Science in Foreign Service Global Politics and Security from Georgetown University. Here's her LinkedIn. She's got 17 plus years in highly educated, highly skilled, highly motivated work experience in analysis, culminating in near policy and decision level influencing analytical positions. And just for reference, here's the ODNI head, Tulsi Gabbard, real quick. I'll explain why I'm referencing her here in just a minute. In 2017, Becca Wasser was part of a team that wrote this RAND paper titled Preventing State Collapse in Syria. Again, the title, Preventing State Collapse in Syria, 2017. Now keep in mind, 2017 is post-2014 Russia annexation of Crimea. However, this paper offers recommendations for U.S. policy for a post-conflict transition in Syria that prevents state collapse, reduces the potential for the recurrence of war, and defeats terrorist groups that have taken hold in that country. These three objectives, we suggest, are best achieved by working with Russia and through the United Nations Security Council, especially in the absence of a regional consensus to end the war. Let's skip to key findings real quick. Most urgent threat to U.S. interest in Syria is spread of terrorist groups. U.S. objectives in Syria, including a political settlement and defeating the Islamic State and the Syrian Conquest Front, formerly known as Jabhat al-Nusra, al-Qaeda's Syria affiliate, are best served by working with Russia and through the UN Security Council, especially in the absence of a regional diplomatic consensus on ending the war. The Syrian Conquest Front, formerly known as Jabhat al-Nusra, I will add, is currently known as Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. They are a group that was covertly supported by the United States recently, and they have recently de facto taken over, basically taken control of much of the current Syrian government. Geo Husar, where are you at? The United States and Russia, especially when working through the United Nations Security Council, can define the structures and constraints for the regional parties in Syria and provide legitimacy to an eventual post-conflict stabilization and reconstruction plan. More extensive U.S. military and intelligence coordination with Russia against the Islamic State and Jabhat al-Nusra, or Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which we eventually basically covertly supported, should include holding Russia and its allies accountable for any indiscriminate bombing or mistreatment of civilians by Russian, Syrian, Iranian, and Hezbollah forces. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's transition from power is best achieved in the context of UN-brokered negotiations on a political settlement involving the United States and its Middle East partners with Russia and Iran, rather than via steps which would serve to escalate or prolong the conflict. Tulsi Gabbard's visit to Syria occurred January 2017. This RAND paper was published January 2017. The stated purpose or mission for Tulsi Gabbard's visit seems to at least strongly philosophically align with the centralized state preservation model that is proposed in this paper. Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which is indisputably the primary direct cause for that war, Hamas's attack on Israel, which is indisputably the primary direct cause of that war, have pretty much completely shit-canned this report. However, this report still has some nuggets of wisdom in that post-conflict Middle East, we're probably going to see some potential state collapse. We're going to see potential recurrence of war, and the terrorist groups, which have not been defeated, are still so powerful that they are either mostly the de facto government, or they have so much political power that they continue to remain a wild card.